Hey there, Game 3. It's a J.R. Richard Memorial Series of 7 games. It may reach 7 games. Right now, the Yanks, the 76 Yanks, are playing the 1980 Astros, and the Yanks are up 2-0. Score of the first game, J.R. lost 6-3. In the second game, he lost 3-2. Let's see if he can come back here. He's at home now for 3 games. The Astros are at home. And it's Mickey Rivers leading off. So let's roll 2d10. And let's get underway. Here's the pitch. Mickey Rivers, Roy White, and Thurman Munson. Chambliss is batting cleanup. Carlos May, 5th, and Nettles 6th. Gamble, Randolph, and Mason. That's a 43. And of course, Richard is a righty, so 43 righty is going to be a bouncer to the first baseman. That is Denny Walling, and he makes the play, 1 down. All right, next up is Roy White. And let's get this up a little bit. There we go. And that is an 83 this time, and that is in the air to center. Coming over, Cedeno puts it away for out number 2. And this is Pine Tar Baseball. Thurman Munson, the Walrus, 15. Rest in peace. That's going to be a base hit single, but that 15 is a multiple of 5, so we're going to check the single, a pitcher. And that's a check swing. They check with the umpire, and he rings him up, and Munson doesn't like it. All right. Out number 3. No runs, no hits. We move to the bottom of the first inning. Terry Poole leading it off. And that's a 96 against Jim Catfish Hunter. It's lifted to left field. Roy White under it for out number 1. Denny Walling is next. He bats from the left side, an 87. And that will be fly to center field this time. That is Cesar Cedeno. And I'm sorry, that is Mickey Rivers. For the Astros, it's going to be Poole, Walling, and Cedeno, Cruz, Morgan, and Cabell, and Ashby, Reynolds, and then the DH Heap. Here is Cesar Cedeno with an 86. And that will be a fly to center for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits. We move to the top of the second. No score. This is game 3 of a 7-game set. The Yanks are up 2-0. Here's Chris Chambliss. Chris Chambliss with a 69er. And a 69 will be a bouncer to third baseman Enos Cabell. And he throws out Chambliss, 1 away. Here's Carlos May with a 92. And that's lifted to left. That is Cruz under it. Makes the catch. And here's Greg Nettles. Greg Nettles with a 51, and that is strike 3. Second strikeout of the game for JR. No runs, no hits. And we move to the bottom of the second inning. Now, you can get these cards at berglund.kurt@yahoo.com. You can get them at the Universal Baseball Association file section, and also the Pine Tar Facebook group file section, I believe. Both, you can get them in both places. And here's Jose Cruz leading off the bottom of the second. There's no score in this game. The pitch from Jim Catfish Hunter, that's a 40. That's something we're going to check up on. And that, oh, okay, that 40 is going to be a, oh, okay, and we're going to check that error. It's an error check against a C pitcher, and it's still going to be an error check. All right, so we're going to roll 3 dice. It's a 0-5, which is to the pitcher. And the pitcher is Hunter. Hunter's defensive rating is a 3. We roll a 1, and that will be an error on the pitcher. E1, Catfish bobbles the ball. Cruz is safe. Jose Cruz is on at first. Stolen bases in A. That means he can steal any time, twice per series. A little bit early. I want to steal a little bit later. Here's Joe Morgan. Here's the pitch to Morgan. It's a 30. 30 is going to be a base on balls. A base on balls for a C. That's line base hit, and that 0 is going to be an even number. So going to third is Cruz. First and third now. And here comes Enos Cabell. Infield is back. They're willing to concede a run. Looking for that double play. Here's the pitch to Cabell. That's a 12, and that is line base hit. That will score a run. And going to third is Morgan. RBI single for Cabell. Drives in Cruz. 1-0. Astros. And here's Alan Ashby, first and third. Again, willing to 23, and that's going to be a ground ball and through the right side for a single. And stopping at second base will be Cabell. We'll double check to make sure he's not fast. If he's fast, he will. No, he is not, so he will stop at second. So first and second, RBI single for Ashby, and that's 4 consecutive batters who have reached, all beginning with the error. So we got first and second, and here comes Craig Reynolds. He bats from the left side. And that's a 51, and that will be a ground ball to the shortstop, and that is to Mason. Flips to Randolph, throw to Chambliss, and it's a 6-4-3. So it's 51. Was to the shortstop, so it's going to be a 6-4-3 double play. Going to third is Cabell, and here is Danny Heap. I'm using the DH in this series just so I don't have to make as many pitching changes. And that's a 26, which will be a base on balls. So Danny Heap walks. Hunter walks Heap, and that puts runners on first and third for Terry Poole. Anything from this point on is going to be an unearned run of 57. Will be a ball that goes right back to the mound. Hunter picks it up over to first, and that retires the side. But the Astros pick up a couple. They lead it 2-0. They pick up a couple on 2 runs on 3 hits. We move to the top of the third. It's going to be Gamble, Randolph, and Mason. Here's a pitch to Oscar Gamble, a 14, and that is a ground ball and gets into the outfield for a single. Gamble is on at first. Here's Randolph next. And it's a 33, which will be a check for an error, and then otherwise it's going to be a pop-up. And let's go. That is with that one, it's going to probably be an error. A 66 on that, and that will be to the shortstop, and it will be an error. It's a 1-base error. Oh, actually, it's a 2-base error. So that's going to put runners on second and third now. So it's an E6. Ground ball, and it Reynolds throws it over Walling's head, and hustling over to third is Gamble, and into second base is Mason. So there's second and third. Infield is going to be played in here for Locklear's not. Locklear's not there. He's not. Let's see. Let's put him in with the Yankees. It's Jim Mason. So here's JR. And that is, that's a 23, and a 23 will be a strikeout. So JR blows a fastball by Mason. That is his 3rd strikeout of the game. And next up is Rivers. Again, the infield is in. And that's going to be a 79, which will be a fly ball to right. We're going to try to tag up on that. Tagging up is a 65, and we got a 66. So he does not. He holds. There's a fly to right. And here comes Roy White, second and third. 2 outs now. So JR is 1 out away. 1 out away from getting out of this jam. And that's an 82, and it looks like he will get out of the jam. That's a fly to center field over Cedeno, puts it away, and that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the third, 2-0 Astros. In the bottom of the third, it's going to be Walling leading off against Jim Catfish Hunter, one of my favorite pitchers of all time, 36, and that's a strikeout. That is strikeout number 1 for Catfish. Next is Cesar Cedeno with an 83, and that 83 is a fly to center. Easy pickings for Rivers. And here's Jose Cruz, who reached on an error. So both teams have an error today. And that's a 23, which will be a base hit, line to right. And Gamble plays it on a hop, gets it into the second baseman, Willie Randolph, acquired from the Pittsburgh Pirates, along with Doc Ellis for Doc Medich. And here's Joe Morgan. That's a 76, which will be a fly to right. And that ends the inning. No runs, 1 hit. And it's 2-0. We go to the top of the 4th inning. Thurman Munson leading off against JR. And that's a 44, which will be a grounded at first. Walling steps on the bag ahead of Munson for out number 1. Chris Chambliss is up next. He bats from the left side. He's 0 for 1 today, grounded to third. That's going to be a 37. That will be strike 3. And that is strikeout number 4. And now comes Carlos May with 2 outs. And it's a 46, and that will be a grounder to first base. He throws it pitcher covering, and that retires the side. So JR got over there quickly. And Enos Cabella's up here in the bottom of the 4th, 2-0 Astros. So it's the pitch from Hunter, a 56, and that will be a bouncer to the shortstop, who charges it. Mason glows it, fires the first in time to get the speedy Cabell. Next up is Ashby. Ashby with a 10, and that's going to be a multiple of 5, so that would be a single against a C pitcher, and that will be, gets past the center fielder and cut off by the right fielder. Going for 2 is Ashby, and throw to second, not in time. A 1-out double for Alan Ashby. So kind of misplayed out there, and it got by Rivers, and it was the right fielder Gamble that had to retrieve it. Here is Craig Reynolds with a 94. 94 will be a fly to left. We will not tag up on that. I don't want to make the third out at third base. And here's Danny Heap. Pitch to Heap. He's a lefty. 57, and a 57 will be bounced to second. Randolph over to first, and that retires the side. So no runs, 1 hit. We go to top of the 5th inning. We got a pitcher's duel here. 1976 Yanks versus the 1980. Now this is a new team just created by Kurt Berglund for Pine Tar Baseball. And as you can see, you know, 90% of it is off the cards. There is one chart. It's a very colorful chart. I really like this chart. And I'm still learning this game, by the way, but I'm starting to get a little bit of the flow. Here's Greg Nettles. And that's a 92, and that is driven to center fielder, and the center field backing up to the track, and Cedeno makes the catch. So Nettles gave it a ride, but stayed in the park. Here is Gamble, 84, and that's driven also to center field. And again, moving back is Cedeno for out number 2, and here is Willie Randolph, who reached second on an error by the shortstop. A 41 is strike 3, and that is number 5 for JR. No runs, no hits. We move to the bottom of the 5th. It's going to be Terry Poole. You're watching a replay. Well, it's not a replay at all. It's a memorial series where J.R. Richard pitches against Jim Catfish Hunter for 7 games. If it gets to 7 games, it's the best of 7. And so far we in game 3, where JR lost the first 2 games, and here he is winning this one 2-0. And it's going to be the bottom of the 5th. Terry Poole leading off. Here's a pitch from Hunter, an 86, and that will be lifted to center field. Under it is Rivers, 1 away. Denny Walling, who's 0 for 2, he flat out struck out. That's a 0-4, and that's hit hard and past the diving Randolph. So Walling is on with a single, and he is stolen bases a D, and a D would be 7th inning or later. We're not there yet. Cesar Cedeño's up next, and here's a pitch, a 37, and that will be strike 3. Goes down on strike. Cedeno heads back to the dugout. 2 outs. Walling on at first, and here's Jose Cruz. That's a 0-7, and that is line base hit. Cut off by the center fielder. Stopping at second is Walling. I'm pretty sure he's not a fast runner now. He's an M, so he will stop at second on that odd number. So 2 on, 2 out. And here's Joe Morgan. Joe Morgan, the Hall of Famer. Probably one of the top second basemen in baseball history in terms of power, speed, average, eye at the plate, and so on and so forth. Here's a pitch from Jim Catfish Hunter. 2 on and 2 out. And this is going to be, nope, not going to be trouble. It's going to be a pop-up right field. Going back is Randolph and Chambliss racing in his Gamble, and Gamble makes the call and retires the side. No runs, 2 hits. We go to top of the 6th inning. See if the Yankees can get something going against JR here. Jim Mason leading off the top of the 6th inning with a 0-2, and that's a drive down the line, and that kicks up some chalk dust, and that's going to be a fair ball. Digging for second is Mason. Here's the throw from the right fielder, Terry Poole and not in time. So it's a leadoff double by Jim Mason to start off the top of the 6th inning. See if the Yanks can get on the board. Here's Mick the Quick. And Mick the Quick with a 74, and that will be a fly to right. We will try to tag up here on the fly to right on second base is a 45, and he tags up, he goes to third. So Mason makes it to third base on the fly to right field. So we got a runner in scoring position. Infield is going to be back. We're going to concede a run to get an out. Here's Roy White, and that is a 99. A 99 is a wild pitch and K. Let's look at JR. He should be here. His rating is an automatic. Well, a 99 is it is going to be a wild pitch, and that will allow a run to score. So he's like an automatic wild pitch from what I can see there, from how I read it. So here's White, 2-1 now. And that's a 56, which will be a strikeout. Strikeout number 6. 2 down. And here's Thurman Munson. Here's a pitch. And that's a 56, which will be back-to-back Ks. And that ends the top of the 6th inning. 1 run on that 1 hit. We go to the bottom of the 6th. The score is 2-1, and we will be back. All right, 2-1, bottom of the 6th. Enos Cabell leading off against Jim Catfish Hunter. Here's the pitch, and that's a 14, and that is bounced right past the shortstop into left field for a leadoff single. So it gets by Mason. A little seeing eye ground ball, batted into the ground. And here's Alan Ashby. Alan Ashby with an 86, and that's a fly to center field. Mickey Rivers is over, gets under it, and squeezes it for out number 1. Next up is Craig Reynolds. Pitch from Catfish is 76, and that will be a fly again. Popped up shallow center, and racing in is Rivers, and he gets there. 2 outs, and Danny Heap is 0 for 1 with a walk and a ground out. That's a 28, and that's going to be ball 4. Yep, he's a C pitcher, so he can definitely walk somebody without the modifier. And here's Terry Poole, first and second, 2 outs, bottom of the 6th, 2-1 Astros. It is J.R. Richard versus Jim Catfish Hunter using Pine Tar Baseball. And it's a 33, and a 33 will be, again, a base on balls, and that will load the bases. So Hunter, struggling to find the plate here in the bottom of the 6th inning, has loaded the bases, so he's in a jam, to say the least. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Denny Walling with a big opportunity to break this game open a little bit and get some insurance for the Astros, and J.R. Richard. And here's the pitch from Hunter, and that is going to be a 13, which will be lined base hit to right. And this will score at least 1 run, and only 1 run here in this case. And the bases will continue to be loaded because Heap is not I don't think Heap is a fast runner, and he is not. So the bases will be loaded. It's an RBI single for Denny Walling. And up comes Cesar Cedeno. So there's some movement in the bullpen for the 76 Yankees. Looks like Dick Tidrow and Sparky Lyle out there. And here's Cesar Cedeno. And that's a 14, and that is a ground ball and through into center field for a base hit. And this will score 2 runs. Heap scores, Poole scores, going to third is Walling, and that's going to be it for Jim Catfish Hunter. 2 big RBIs, and the Astros have broken it open now. And they got first and third, and it's going to be Cruz coming up, and we're going to see Sparky Lyle coming in. And let's see where we can find Lyle. There he is. Lyle's got 55 and 77 as walks. He can go 2 innings, and he will be away. He will be an A+. All right, so Sparky Lyle against Jose Cruz, and here's the pitch, and that is a 0-8, and that is ripped to right for a base hit. 1 run scores. Going to third is Cedeno, and that run will be charged to Jim Catfish Hunter. First and third. Here's Joe Morgan, another lefty. And Lyle sets and deals, and that is going to be a 74. Oh, I should have looked at, actually, on that last one. I think it was a 0-8. It was a single. It was still a single on the left side. I got to look on the left side now. It's a lefty. 74 will be a fly out to right to end the inning. All right. But the Astros break it open here with 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning on 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hits, a couple of walks. They drive Hunter from the game. And JR is sitting pretty now. He's going to be facing Chambliss, May, and Nettles. Here's the pitch from JR to Chambliss, a 98, which will be a potential lineout error. You're going to see what that becomes. And it's a 26, which will be to second base, and that 8 is way too high. So it's going to be a bouncer to second. Handling it easy is second baseman Morgan for out number 1. And actually, that was supposed to be a 98 was a line out, I believe. So it's a line out to, excuse me, it's a line out to second baseman. All right, here's Carlos May. That's a 93, and that is a fly to left. 2 out. And here's Greg Nettles, pitch from JR. JR with a 26, and that will be a single base hit for Nettles. Rips one to right. And he's on at first with 2 outs. Oscar Gamble with good power. And that's a 54, which will be a bouncer to second. Second baseman Morgan flips to Reynolds, and that retires the side. So no runs, 1 hit, 1 left, and we move to the bottom of the 7th inning. We're playing Pine Tar Baseball. This is a brand new team created by berglund.kurt@yahoo.com. You can reach out to him, or you can get it for free at Universal Baseball Association Facebook group and the Pine Tar Facebook group. I think it's on both. Should be on both, but you can ask at Universal Baseball Association. And it's a 98. A 98 will be a potential line-out error again. Let's see who it's going to be on. It's going to be on the 21, and that will be bounced to first base. Easy pickings for the first baseman, Chambliss. Actually, it's not a, it's a line out. I keep on forgetting that. All right, and it was a line out, right? It wasn't a pop-up. It was 98. Yeah, it was a line out. Okay, so a line out to first. Chambliss snags it out of the air, and here is Alan Ashby, pitch from Lyle, and he's on the left side. And that 98 was from the left side as well. So we've got to remind ourselves it's from the left side. That's bounced to short. That is Mason. And he throws out Ashby for out number 2. And here's Craig Reynolds, the pitch, 0-8. And that is bounced up the middle and into center field for a 2-out single. Danny Heap's 0 for 1 with a run scored and a couple of walks, and that's a 59. 59 will be a comebacker. No, it's actually bounced to Mason, who flips to Randolph, and that retires the side. We go to the top of the 8th inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. And here comes Willie Randolph against JR. Pitch is a 30, and that 30 is a base on balls. We're going to check, and it becomes a strikeout. Oh, no. The base on balls stays as a base on balls. There's no change there. All right, so Randolph walks. We're going to bring in a pinch hitter here late in the game. It's going to be Gene Locklear for Jim Mason, and then we're going to bring in Chicken Stanley to play shortstop. All right, here's a pitch from JR, a 93, and that will be a fly to left. Easy pickings for Jose Cruz. Top of the order now, and Chicken Stanley will be at shortstop for the Yanks. So 1 on, 1 out. Here's Mickey Rivers, and that is a 46, which will be a grounder to first, and that 6 will end up being a fielder's choice. 3-6. Back to first, not in time. Rivers is safe. The score is 6-1 Astros. Here's Roy White. with one on. That's a 0-0. That's a deep drive off the bat of White, but we're going to have to check that. That's a home run, but we're going to have to check that. That home run against an A-plus pitcher is going to be ball 4, but there's a runner on first, so that's going to be ball 2. And we're going to roll again for White. Here's a pitch. It's an 84 this time, and that is fly deep to center field. Back goes Cedeno to the track and makes the catch for out number 2. Actually, that was out number 3, and that ends the inning. Wow. So you see how an A pitcher can really make a difference and turn things around. And that home run became ball 2. I love that. All right, bottom of the 8th, Danny Heap is up. Actually, it's going to be the top of the order. Terry Poole is up. And here's the pitch, and that's a 44 against the lefty. Well, he's gone. He's only gone 1 1/3, and he can go 2. So I'm going to keep him in there until, at least for 2, and then until he allows a run. So that will be a bouncer to first. And Chambliss steps on the bag ahead of Poole. Here's Walling, 0-3, and that is driven down the line, and that's going to be a fair ball into right field corner. Bounds away from the right fielder, Gamble. Denny Walling around second, going to try for third. Here's a relay from Randolph, the tag from Nettles, and he is safe with a triple, a one-out triple by Denny Walling. And they're going to look at the replay. Oh, wait, there is no replay. Okay, Cesar Cedeno, runner on third. We're going to play the infield in. Yanks got the infield in. Everybody's on the grass. Chambliss, Randolph, shortstop, Stanley, and Nettles. Here's the pitch. That's a 40. And a 40, he is an A+. That's a base on balls. That is a base on balls, but that's we're going to look at that, and he is an A+. So that base on balls is going to turn into a, oh, it's going to stay a base on balls. So it's a walk, puts runners on first and third. And here's Cruz, Jose Cruz. So again, he's only got 1 1/3, so he can go 2 innings. So we're going to still keep him in. Here's a pitch, and that's a 95. A 95 against a lefty will be a fly to left. We're going to try to tag up on that. And we get it, an 86. He will be a sacrifice fly. So it's an RBI to left. And that is 2 outs now, and that is 2 complete innings. So the next, he allows 1 more base runner, then we'll pull him. Here's Joe Morgan. Here's a pitch from Lyle, a 37, and that will be a strikeout. So 1 run scores on Lyle on 1 hit, a triple, and then of course a sacrifice fly. They leave 1 to walk, and we move to the top of the 9th. Last licks for the Yanks. It's going to be Thurman Munson, Chris Chambliss, and May. Now, he's allowed 1 run here. He can go 7. We gave him the bonus inning. He doesn't have a shutout. So we're going to move him. We're going to hit his endurance and move him to a, he's an A+. So we're going to move him to a, if he allows 1 base runner, we'll move him to a B+. If he allows another base runner, we'll move him to a C+. And that's how we'll kind of do it. So let's see what happens. Here's Thurman Munson. Here's a pitch from JR, 28. And a 28 will be line base hit by Munson into left field. So that'll move him to a B+ now. All right, so Chambliss. Here's a pitch, and that is a 23, and that will be line base hit. And that Munson will stop at second base. Remember, it's 6-1 to score. We're on the top of the 9th. The Yanks have first and second, and that looks like it's going to be all for J.R. Richard. So let's go in there and see who we have. Who we have as a reliever. We got Frank LaCourte. He's a righty, but we got a lot of lefties. We're going to go with Joe Sambito. Joe Sambito's coming in. And Sambito, he's got, oh wow, he's got K's at 55 all the way to 60, 77 as well. He is at home. He is an A+. And he can go a couple innings. All good. All right, Joe Sambito's in the game now. Facing Carlos May, the lefty. And let's see if we can go, we're going to go to Otto Velez to pinch hit. All right, Velez is up. Here's a pitch, first and second. Yanks are down 6-1. That's a 76. And a 76, Sambito is a left-hander, so that will be a 76 on the left side, and that's bounced to short. And I believe that's going to be a bounce to short, and that will be a fielder's choice. So it's going to be a 6-4 fielder's choice, runner to third, so you got first and third. Vela is on at first with a fielder's choice, and here is Greg Nettles with one out. Pitch from Joe Sambito, the lefty, that's a 44, and a 44 will be a grounded to first. That will be to Walling. Walling's going to go to second to the shortstop, back to first, not in time. So it's a 3-6 fielder's choice. So one more out. The Yanks are down to the last out. Here's the pitch to Gamble. Let's see if we can bring in a pinch hitter. It's going to be Elliot Maddox. So Maddox is going to pinch hit. He's a righty. And let's do it. Here's a pitch. And that's a 65, and a 65 will be a strikeout, and that's the ball game. No runs. 2 hits, 2 left. The Astros win it, and now they trail by one game here in this series, 2 games to 1. They win it by a score of 6-1. J.R. Richard hits for the Astros. 1, 2, 6 there, 8, 9, 10. And 13 hits for the Astros and 1 error for the Yanks. They had 2, 3, 4, 5 hits, 1 run, 5 hits, and 1 error. This is Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV, Pine Tar Baseball, RIP, J.R. Richard. Take care.